Who faces more pressure in Nigeria? A 30 years old unmarried woman or a 30 years old man without money? Now this question is just somehow because it gets you thinking. I know the pressure to settle down for a lady is there based on their biological clock and getting the right partner that will meet them where they are. These are the things that get lady thinking. Maybe when they've come to a certain age and they are not married, it gets them thinking, what is happening? Would I still find my man? Or is it that life has forgotten about me? I know that the pressure is there for them. But for a 30 years old man without money, it's another thing entirely. For a young man, would I say young man? For a man in his 30s and you don't have anything to your name, it gets you thinking to how can I get ahead in life, especially when you see your friends and they are doing well. It gets you thinking. Now this is the question that was thrown by an ex-user. His name is Ariwodo. Hope I'm not butchering that name. But he asked this question and it's a very interesting question to get into. But before I give my own opinion on the matter, let's check the comment section and see what people have to say about this. Emmanuel said, a man without money starts facing pressure at around 21. An unmarried woman starts facing pressure at around 25. Plus, women are usually not shamed for lacking money, only for not having a partner. Men are shamed for both. To answer your question, a 30 years old man without money faces more pressure in Nigeria because he also faces marital pressure. There's a point in what he said. What he said makes sense to me. Both gender face their own kind of pressure. It is different, but the pressure is there regardless if you're a man or you're a woman. There's still this pressure you face when it comes to this particular subject matter. Another person said, a 30 years old unmarried woman, because if her time pass, it don't pass. But a 30 years old man without money can still make it later and marry a 20 years old virgin. What do you all think about this particular statement? Is it true? A man with money can dictate the kind of lady he wants in his personal space. The same way a lady can still choose the kind of man she wants in her life. That's just the same way it is. But there are ladies that will get with you just because of your financial prowess, just because of your financial achievements. But if a lady is with you for your finances, is that really the kind of lady you want to attach yourself with? That is a question you can still ask. Another person said, honestly, a broke 30 years old man has it worst. An unmarried woman at 30 might get side eyes and gossip, but society still find ways to accommodate her. A man without money at 30 gets no respect, no opportunities, and not even sympathy, because in Nigeria, a man's worth is measured almost entirely by his wallet. This is something to ponder. A man's worth is measured almost entirely by his wallet. It is true on many levels. It depends on how you want to reason it. But on many levels, it is true. It is true. But now the differences comes when, okay, everybody have money, then they start checking other things. But most times, if you don't have money, you are looked at as if you are not smart. You are looked at as if you are lazy. No matter how hard you are working, you are looked at as a waste of space. At least that's what I know from my personal experience with life. What is this a question? So He means that it's a rhetorical question, I think. Darius. I don't know if it's a man or a woman. Darius should be a man, I think. Women, of course. Even if na 18 years, so far e no get money, pressure tiwa. That is, even if you're 18 years, no, now come on, an 18 years old. An 18 years old is still trying to understand how their body works. How would you expect that kind of person to make money? There's this thing I saw on Reddit and it made sense to me. An 18 years old, you should think of them as a baby. That is, in adult years, you should think of an 18 years old as a baby. Then check it like that. An 18 years old, you don't need to have any pressure to perform. You don't need to be put on any pressure to do anything, both in dating. You are not supposed to have any of those kind of stressors. But maybe with time, when you grow older, then a 30 years old, think of it as a 12 years old adult. At least it makes it make sense. Then when you've gotten to 18 years in the adult age, 18 years should be around, like, as a 36 years old, now you're a grown adult, you're a matured adult. That is when maybe the pressure might lay heavily on your shoulders. But as an 18 years old, you should not think about any of those things for now. The pressure a broke man faces is second to none. Can't compare with nothing a woman deals with. I feel like maybe these comments are biased towards men. Maybe because of their guys replying. Let me try searching for that of a lady, where a lady replied to this post. A 20 years old boy without money. Come on. This person said, the man. If a man has money, there won't be unmarried women plenty in the country. It is true. If you think of it now, it is true. If men have money, they will be pushed to start up a family. When a man makes money, he's pushed to start up a family. I don't think it's the same for ladies. Most ladies, at least the ones I've seen online, when they make money, they claim that they are independent ladies and they don't need a man, and they can do it by themselves. That in fact, what does a man have to offer to her that she can't provide for herself? That's the way most ladies think. But when a man makes money, then this biological thing within him pushes him to go and start up a family. He wants to have kids and he wants posterity to remember him. I think that's something within a man. And that can only happen if the man has the money to start up the family to begin with. So if a man has money, most ladies won't be single in their 30s because men would get married earlier. As a result, the number of single ladies will be shrinked. This person said, is the man, of course. 30 years old is much. At 25, a man is already under pressure. Every day, men are being broke shamed. As a man, if you are broke, even your family don't regard you that much. You won't even be happy with yourself. Women, pressure, where? By who? Same women who claim marriage is not an achievement. The same women that vow never to cook when married. The ones that compare themselves to men, or the ones that say they will never change their surname after marriage. The I can't settle for less, you mean? Or the never give your 20s to a man. How does this look like people under pressure? People who don't even regard marriage, wetin wan pressure them? A woman that wants to get married in 6 months can. They all know what to do. But a man can't just wake up and have money. That is even the frustrating part, because you are putting in the effort and it's not coming. Now, this is another angle to think of it. But like I said, maybe because of this post was made by a guy, it might be biased towards the view of a man. Though I agree with him, I won't say I don't agree with him, but we should not generalize. I try not to generalize when it comes to things like this. I know that you can easily say women, you put them in one box, but I feel like it's just a minority. It's just a minority, but they are the vocal minority. They talk for everybody when they come out and make such statements. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Bishop Marcus said, a 30 years old man without money. As a man, life is defeating you too. He's using football reference. You're already handicapped. You're already handicapped. Jadson said, woman or women, men can still run it up by 40. Women knows she hardly gets a husband by 40. 30 years old unmarried woman. This is a lady, but she could have given us more context. She just dropped her own opinion. A man at 30 can reset his life, and not having a partner makes the journey much easier. Work hard on a skill, and grace follows you for the next 3 years. Accumulate wealth for the next 2 years and marry at 36. Whereas a woman in her 30s will have less opportunity, because most men we ask, why weren't you taken in your early days? And that becomes a problem. A woman's prime is from 18 to 25, where a man's prime is when he's successful. Let that sink in. I know most times people get uncomfortable saying that women have a prime and men have none. These are the standards that biology has set for us. It's not like if you won't see ladies in their 30s or even early 40s that look good, but you can't compare them to ladies in their 20s. That's just the truth. No matter how you try to sugarcoat it, that's just how it is. But this particular user is making it seem like it's easy for men to pick themselves up at the age of 30 and just make the money like that. If it were to be easy for them to make it like that, they could have done that in their 20s already. But another thing I still believe is that making money is not the most difficult thing to do. The main thing is changing who you are into the kind of person that can make that money. That is what I truly believe. And changing yourself, that is the difficult part. But if it's about difficulty, definitely there are difficulties in it. There are difficulties in it. But it is not about the making money part. It's about the changing yourself into the kind of person that can make that kind of money. That's what I truly believe, though. All of these comments are saying the same thing with different words. I'm looking for a contrast view, for a view that is different from what I've been reading. This person said, marriage aside, we all know being broke is the real pressure, both for ladies and for guys. Being broke is nothing to smile about. It's nothing to just look without taking it serious. The pressure is just there. The pressure is there, and it's very, very difficult, especially with the constant rise in price of everything. The inflation rate is always increasing. Everything is just crazy. You go to the market, what you bought a particular good this week is not what you'd buy it next week. It's very, very volatile, which is not sustainable. It's only a matter of time before maybe the people revolt or something just have to give. This person said something. Now when you begin to pay bills, you go know say toilet na restroom true true. The person just wants to go and rest in the toilet. Eh, this other person said 30 plus unmarried lady is not even under any pressure. If you have seen To Kill a Monkey, if a situation in the beginning explains everything. I've not seen that movie. I've heard plenty about the movie. If you've seen the movie, tell me if it's any good. Let me see if I can watch it. But I've heard plenty about the movie. Everybody is giving their own opinion. Everybody is giving their own opinion. I don't think I have a detailed view on a lady's perspective. This person said something. Mo. Mo. Is it Mo? Miami of Lagos. The pressure differs, I think. 30 years old woman na just about marriage. Some na about their career. But you see 30 years old man, even he himself, they give himself pressure. Everything they give him pressure. But truth be told, men go through a lot. Men go through a lot. Especially when you've gotten to that age when people are hoping for you to perform, when people are hoping for you to do something and you're not doing it. I think it's time for me to give my own view. Okay, before I give my own view, let me just take this last one. A 30 years old unmarried woman. Women are time bound for childbirth, but no time limit for making money. Yeah, there's no time limit for making money, but it's not a guarantee that you'd make money. There's nowhere that it is guaranteed that you'd make money. And from the original conversation, they said, who face more pressure in Nigeria? A 30 years old unmarried woman or a 30 years old man without money? Like every other person in the comment section, I think is the 30 years old man without money, because the pressure is different. There are places that you'd go to, you won't be regarded as a human being. Some people won't even treat you as if you're a being at all. They neglect you, you are non-existent. But even if a 30 years old married woman enters there, she would be regarded. And I'm not even talking about her having money or anything, just her being her. And there are opportunities for her to, the world tends to take care of the ladies more than the way they take care of men. Ladies get assistance, they get help, they get all of these things. And I can still understand how a lady might look at it and say the lady face more pressure. Yes, it's true. The society puts pressure on ladies to get married. But who are the people that will get married to these ladies? As one of the comments said, if men in their 30s have enough money, most ladies won't even get to this age before they get married. Maybe in their 20s, they must have gotten married to these men that are in their 30s. But the more men in their 30s are not making money, the more they are still struggling, the more they are still trying to find their feet, the more these ladies keep on staying single, because it's a man that will get married to her. And a man without money, most likely than not, would not want to get into a committed relationship, talk more of getting into a marriage. At least that's my own honest opinion about this. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like. Tell me whatever you think about this particular video in the comment section. Bye.